All right, I messed up and stopped my video, so we're in two videos. So exercise one, I'm going to do it with you, and I'm going to expect you guys to do two and three. So Bob's Tire Outlet sold a record number of tires last month. Whoa, sweet bud. One salesman sold 165 tires. Now, a little confused on that. Usually when you buy tires, you don't buy like an odd number, but just saying. One salesman sold 165 tires, which was 60% of the tires sold in a month. What was the record number of tires sold? So again, we make our double number line. So I have my percentage and my quantity, right? So I know 0%. Let me tap back. Oh, there we go. And I have 100%. And then I pull these up, make another number line. I know 0% is 0. And so what is the information given? Well, we know this one guy sold 165 tires, which was 60%. So this is 50, so about 60 is right here. And I know that's 165 tires. Okay, so where do I go from here? Can I go from 60% to 100%? No. But what can we turn 60% into? There's a lot of options. We could turn it into 10%, right? Divide by 6, right? Because we know we can go from 60 divided by 6 equals 10 times 10. Or we could do 60 divided by 3 equals 20, and then times it by 5. I find this one to be easier. You guys can do this one too, and you'll get the same answer. It's magic. Math magic. So I'm going to divide this by 3 to get 20%, which is about, we'll say right here. So there's 20%, right? And so I divide by 3. So I'm going to do 165 divided by 3, which if I get out my handy candy calculator, I get 55. So 20% is 55. And so back over here, how do I go from 20 to 100? I times by 5. So I got to do 20 times 5 to get to 100. So I got to do 55 times 5, which gives me a total of 275 tires. Which again, does it make sense? Yeah, it's more than 60%. 50% would be like closer to 140. So 275. That looks good. Again, mathematically, we did it totally correct. So I'm having you do 2 and 3. All right, example 2, answer each part below using only mental math and describe your method. Okay? It's not huge that you describe your method. I'd like to see some like what you did, right? And so I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to do A. I'm going to do D. I'm going to do A and D. Okay, so A is real simple. If 39 is 1% of a number, what is that number? So if 39 is 1%, how do I go from 1% to 100%? I times it by 100. So I'm going to times 39 by 100, and I know 100% is equal to 3,900. Okay, so you're going to do this one, which is 39 is 10%. This would be pretty simple. 39 is 5%. So if 39 is 15% of a number, what is that number? So this one's a little bit trickier. So I want you to think about it before I go through it. So what's tricky about this one? Well, 15 is not a common factor of 100, right? 15 times 6 is 90, and then we get to 105. So that doesn't work. But what factor does 15 have in common with 100? It's 5, right? So I know I can divide this by 3 to get 5, and then times by 20 to get 100%. So everyone seeing what I'm doing here? I know if I divide 15% by 3, I get 5%, times by 20, I get 100%. So I'm going to do the same mathematical formula for 39. 39 divided by 3 is 13. I'm going to times that by 20, and I know I get 260. So I'm looking for you on here. There'll be a picture of it with my work on it. You'll have, well, actually without my work, you won't see my work. But again, you don't have to do A and D, but I'm looking for you to do B, C, and E on your own. All right, exercise 4 and 5. Derek had so I know this is a decimal. I know, but anybody who plays baseball knows, like, you would say it's a 250 batting average. Yes, that is 25 hundredths. But a 250 batting average at the end of his last season. God, I'm shaking. The end of his last baseball season, which means that he got a hit 25% of the time he was up to bat, right? Makes sense. If we times this decimal by 100, right, we get 25%. If Derek had 47 hits last season, how many times did he bat? So, we know 0, double number line here, 0, boop, 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 beep, beep. We know 100%. Okay. Do we know how many times he batted? No. But we know that 25% of the time he hit the ball. And how many hits did he have? 47. So how do I get from 25 to 100? I times it by 4. So I'm going to times 47 by 4. And if I get out my handy dandy calculator, I get 188. Okay? Pretty simple, right? If we want to get to 100%, we want to get to any percentage. We just have to find a way. This one was an easier run, right? We know 25 times 4 is 100, so it's pretty easy. This one will probably be a little harder is my guess. So Nelson used 35% of his savings account for his class trip in May. Oh, that's kind of sad. No class trip this year, buddy. If he used $140 from his savings account while on his class trip, how much money was in his savings account before the trip? So, again, we make our double number line. 0, 0. 1 is a percentage, 1 is not, right? I like to put the lower one as a percentage, 100%. And so we know that 35% was used on his class trip, and he used $140. Now, again, is 35 a factor of 100? No, it is not, right? 35 plus 35 is 70, plus 35 is 95, plus another 35 is 130. But what factors do 35 and 100 have in common? Gavin, calm down. Calm down. I know you want to answer it real bad. But we know that 5 is a common factor. So how do we get 35 to 5%? And I'm going to go to 5 right here. That would be dividing it by 7, Mr. Benoit. Oh, nice job. Thank you. I strive to do my best in math class. So when I divide that by 7, I get 5%. And then how do we go from 5 to 100? We times it by 20. So, again, 35%, we divide by 7 to get 5%, times it by 20 to get to 100%. So I'm going to do the same thing to my quantity up here. So $140, divide that by 7, that's $20. So 5% is $20. And then I times that by 20. 20 times 20 is $400. So I know 100% of my bank account was $400. All right, any questions? Shoot me an email. We can video chat. We can talk over the phone. Whatever works for you guys. Miss you all. Good luck with this one.